So, guys, we finally got to see Havertz in an Arsenal shirt. He made his debut today. Pre-season is fully underway, and it's fantastic to have the mighty Arsenal back. I'm really excited for the upcoming season. And of course, our transfers are not finished yet. We've still got two big signings to be announced. I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be Declan Rice and Timber Day, hopefully. But as I said, it was the first time that we got to see Havertz in an Arsenal shirt. He looks good in red. It wasn't a particularly fantastic game. I wouldn't say that Havertz really lit the stadium on fire with his performance. But do you know what? He had some good moments of carrying the ball forward. He's got a great first touch, and I think obviously with pre-season and the fact that he's playing with new teammates and he hasn't played for a good few weeks now since the end of the season, everyone was going to be a little bit slow getting off the mark today. But in general, I don't think it was too bad today. I think we had a relatively decent performance. I've got a few things that I want to talk about. Nwaneri is one of the topics I want to bring up in this video. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, to be fair. And the fact that he's just 16 is frightening. Arteta has, I think, done a fantastic job, and the rest of the team, to get Nwaneri to sign on, because there were huge rumours that he was going to move on to, I think, City, Chelsea, United were all sniffing around. And you would have seen it today in that game. I'm sure they'll post the highlights later. Just a few minutes where he was genuinely incredible at just 16 years old. The fact that he's doing more than Vieira, I think that says quite a lot, to be honest. But we saw, in general, a very average display today, a very pre-season-like game. Nothing truly spectacular, but it's good for the players to get out there, get some minutes, and of course, to see some action for the first time in a few weeks is really nice. I thought it was great that Gabriel was captain as well when Ødegaard got a little bit of a knock in the warm-up. I think he's okay. I'm hoping he's okay. And of course, Saka scored a fantastic goal to open up the scoring. But yeah, honestly, I've got some things that I want to talk about. We'll look at the stats of the game and we'll talk about the lineup and things like that. But some key topics, okay? So we've got Havertz's debut, and I'm going to talk about how I thought he got on and what position I think he probably is going to be playing for us, although it's very early days. Balogun versus Nketiah. What am I thinking there? Nwaneri we need to talk about. I mean, the fact that he is 16 is frightening. Ben White, I thought he was brilliant today. And there's a lot of talk about his position going into the new season. The fact that, obviously, if Timber's coming in, he's effectively a Ben White, isn't he? He's a centre-back, right-back. So we'll talk about that. And also in that position, I want to talk about Cedric as well. So that's 5 topics. And then also, this left-back role, when Zinchenko's not playing, we saw Kivior in the first half play that role. And of course, Tierney played that role in the second half. So we'll talk about that. But first of all, Havertz. Left centre mid, number 8 role. Is that what we're going to see? He definitely was in an advanced position. I wouldn't say he went as deep as Granit Xhaka would go. And I haven't really talked about Granit Xhaka. Of course, he has officially left now. And we're going to really miss him. But I was very interested to see where we would see Havertz play. And it did seem we were very attacking heavy today. It was clearly a game where we weren't too worried about having to defend too much. But Havertz was for sure playing in an attacking number 8 role. Effectively what Ødegaard does, but on the other side. And yeah, I mean, again, he didn't really do anything incredible. I would argue there was a moment where the ball kind of was whipped in and it fell for him, and he probably could have made a better connection with the ball. It was kind of a volley, half volley situation. And he hit it kind of lightly and it kind of just went into the keeper's arms. I mean, imagine if he slams that one into the top corner, what a moment that would have been. But I thought he looked quite good, actually. I think he's going to settle in over the next few weeks. And of course, we've got a bunch of pre-season games coming up. I imagine we will see him play on the right side. I think we'll see him play up top. I don't think we know after today what his position is going to be. But I think it's interesting, it's fascinating that we've already seen him effectively playing in that number 8 role on the left side of a midfield 3. He popped up at that left wing position. It was odd. We seem to have a very fluid front three today. Everyone was interchanging. It's very Mikel Arteta. But yeah, I thought Havertz did okay today. Nothing special, but he could have had a howler, and we would have all been thinking 65 million for what? Balogun versus Nketiah. It's a tough one. I'm more excited by Balogun. He came on and he offered so much more. He hit the post. He missed a sitter. I mean, he actually had a bit of a stinker when he came on. Let's be honest. For a striker to have those chances and not score, stinker. But the fact that he was creating, the fact he was getting in those positions where Nketiah just simply wasn't, it's food for thought. I hear that we're looking for 50 million to sell Balogun, and I do wonder, should we keep him? Are we going to regret not having Balogun? Is he a one-season wonder where he's gone off to France, killed it, and then we'll keep him and he does really badly? I don't know. He clearly wants game time. I don't know if he's going to get it ahead of Nketiah, let alone Jesus and new signing Havertz. We saw Balogun play on the right wing at one point, which was interesting to say the least. I think there's going to be a little bit of an issue there with Jesus as well, because I know at City, towards the end of his City career, he was playing a lot on the wing, on that right side, and it's one of the reasons he wanted to leave, because he wants to play as a number 9, as a striker. And I don't think it's something we need to worry about right now, but I can see it. Already today, Jesus was pushed out wide, and it might have been just for today, with lack of match sharpness for everyone and match fitness. But I wouldn't want to see that happen too often, because I don't think it will end well. For me, Jesus is best through the middle, and he can drift wide with the ball and drop deep to receive the ball, but I think he should be our number 9. I don't really want to see him starting on the wing, but what do I know? In terms of going into the new season, it's obviously still very early, but if I had to choose right now, I think I'd go into the new season with Balogun ahead of Nketiah, purely because I just don't know if Nketiah is quite at that level. I think Balogun isn't that far off Nketiah. They might be very level. I think Nketiah's obviously got more Premier League experience. He's a little bit older. Balogun's got a slightly more exciting profile. I think he's a bit more physical. I think he's a bit more of a clinical all-rounder. I don't know. It's a really difficult decision to make. I don't think we can have both of them, though. It's very clear that one of them's going to have to be going into the new season, and one of them's going to have to be let go of. I think we're going to stick with Nketiah. I think Arteta really likes him. And I think Balogun, unfortunately, will be sold. But as long as we do get a good fee for it, I'm quite happy. We need to talk about Nwaneri again. There was a clip I've put out on my Twitter. If you go on my Twitter, you'll see one of my latest tweets. There's a clip of him receiving the ball, roulette, spin, getting in behind. And it's just, 16 years old. You can see why all of the big clubs wanted him. I don't even know where his best position is going to be. I kind of see him in that Ødegaard role. I see him in the Xhaka role. He was dropping deep. He was getting further forward. He just looks like an absolute superstar at 16. And I know it's only pre-season, and I know there's a lot more to come from him. But, yeah, you can see why he's been given the biggest youth contract we've ever given out. You can see why there was a huge commotion about him signing. It's genuinely massive for the club to keep hold of a talent like him when he could easily do what Hutchinson did last season, just move on to another club for more money. It's not very Arsenal. I've got to be honest. This isn't very Arsenal to really fight to keep a young player like this when such big money's involved. I'm hearing he's on 45 grand a week. Now, that's just a rumour. I don't know if that's real or not, but that would imply that that's what the kind of number was being thrown around, and we would have had to, somewhat match it. Yeah, he might be an Arsenal lad. Yeah, he might support Arsenal. Yeah, he might want to stay. But if the money was being tripled, quadrupled elsewhere, it wouldn't have surprised me if he just went for it. And especially if it was a team that might have said, look, we'll guarantee you more minutes. But he stayed at Arsenal, and I cannot tell you how non-Arsenal this is. The whole window so far, the fact that we're getting our business done so early, it's just not Arsenal. And it's a joy. It really is. It's a joy. I'm so happy that it's happening, because I'm fed up with the old Arsenal, if I'm being honest. But yeah, watch out for Nwaneri this season. There's no doubt he'll get minutes in the Cup games, I'm not sure how much time he'll get in Champions League games and Premier League games, but off that display alone, honestly, I'm trying to see him and Vieira here in this little comparison in my head, and I'm just thinking like Vieira, already been at the club for a year, had some decent moments, the Brentford game. Excuse me, I've been sick the last few days. I'm still struggling. I just see Vieira as not that far ahead, which is completely crazy to me. Ben White, a lot of talk about him potentially playing as a centre-back from now on. Ahead of Saliba? No. Ahead of Gabriel? No. So what does this mean? If Timber's coming in and playing as the right-back, what happens to Ben White? And genuinely, we saw Ben White play both positions today. He played right-back in the first half. He played a centre-back cameo in the second half. He looks better as a right-back, genuinely, and I know that's... excuse me. It's just part of pre-season. You're not going to have a consistent appearance like that. But I still like Ben White as a right-back. I think he can do a fantastic job as a centre-back. But I just wanted to point out that he was really good today. Cedric obviously needs to leave. He wasn't exactly bad today, but you can just tell he doesn't have that. He doesn't have it. He's not going to be good enough. And I think he was just getting minutes today because it's just a friendly at the end of the day. And lastly, let's talk about Tierney and Kivior. Really pleasantly surprised with Kivior. I know he's played in midfield in his career. To see him shift into that Zinchenko role today. He was playing left back, but obviously would do the inverted role, moving into centre mid, and he was very, very impressive. He's got a great range of passing. I think his right foot needs a lot of work. His weak foot ability seems to be 1 star. A few little loose passes with that right foot, but positionally aware. I love the fact that he looked comfortable on the ball. He wanted the ball. You know, typically if a player isn't that technically gifted, they don't want the ball. They don't want. They just want to use their body and get in the way of situations. I'm talking about defenders, you know, just defend. But Kivior wants the ball, and he seems to be fitting in really well with the club. He seems to be a really liked member of the team, and that's really good to see, especially because he's the only Polish player at the club. I mean, that is a thing. You know, it's nice to have similar nationalities, at least close nationalities. You know, you see a lot of the Portuguese and Brazilian players gelling, Polish, and no one really else at the club, I guess. Yeah, I just think he was very impressive, and better than Tierney. Tierney came on and he just doesn't look comfortable playing that inverted role. So I just don't know what's going to happen with Tierney. I don't think he should be sold because we might need him. It is as simple as that. But here you can see the lineup that we started with today. It was interesting to see Partey start. Did nothing special, but there are reports that he's going to be leaving now, going to Saudi. Trossard was playing in the number 8 role in the first half, and actually I thought he did all right there. Not bad at all. He's a very versatile player, but of course he was replaced by Kai Havertz. Trusty I thought was pretty good, actually. Quite liked his little appearance. And Walters made a good block towards the end. They could have easily won the game, actually. Jorginho's own goal with Hein. I don't really want to talk about it too much because it was a bit of a mess. We should have won this game comfortably, but a little bit of an awkward own goal from Jorginho. And the pass from Hein wasn't exactly great, but I don't think it was that bad either. But there was one player that caught my eye as well, and that is Lewis Skelly. I think he put through Balogun when he missed the open goal. Thought he was pretty impressive as well. Obviously, there isn't going to be too much stats in a preseason game, but I thought I'd just show you the lineups and stuff like that. But honestly, haven't learned too much today. I'm very much looking forward to the US tour. I think we're going to see a lot more with better opposition. I thought Nuremberg weren't too bad, but yeah, I mean, we're going to have to push ourselves a little bit harder in the upcoming games. And hopefully we will have Declan Rice and Timber with us. I'm hearing that tomorrow could be the day, so watch out for that. Thank you for watching this. And I'll be back with some more content soon.